Hey guys, Karina with Raven Studios here. I want to share with you a bit of the Raven Studios origin story. So, back in 1995, my Sigong, my teacher's teacher, came to Tucson for a visit, and from Macau. He's from Macau. Ho Kam Ming is my Sigong. My teacher's name is Augustine Fong in Tucson, Arizona. And when Master Ho came to visit, he brought with him a pair of wooden bacham-do. In those days, I had never seen wooden bacham-do before. And he brought a pair, and they were made of wood. And at that time, I thought, I could make a pair of those. And I hadn't done any woodworking before that. So I traced out the bacham-do that he brought, and I attempted to make a pair in my garage. I didn't have a workshop back then. I had some basic tools and a garage and a lot of gumption. And so this is the pair that I made. I traced them out exactly the same size and shape, and I tried to duplicate how they were made, having never done this before. That was my starting point. So this is the very first pair of bacham-do or any wooden training swords that I ever made. They're not that great, I will have to admit. I don't even remember what kind of wood this is. It might be pine even, I'm not sure. They're very light. The guards were 1/4-inch steel rod. So that was the start. So a couple years after that, actually during that time period, I was experimenting with making more, and I wanted to improve how they were made and make them sturdy. These were not sturdy enough to be used for partner training, and that's what my goal was to make wooden swords that you can use during partner training or sparring, things like that, competitions. This was the second iteration. These are maple, and I bumped the guards up to 3/4-inch steel, but they're still not partner training worthy. They're great for forms and things like that. Then in trying to remember the year, was either 1998 or 99, my Sifu did a seminar, and he was going to do a seminar and teach the bacham-do. And he wanted to come up with a style of his own, and he wanted them made out of wood. So he talked to me about it, and he had a design in mind. Back then, and we're talking about the late 90s, so back then all that was available for Wing Chun practitioners were pretty much stamped out steel or aluminum training swords that were in the three basic traditional styles of bacham-do that I offer on my website today. The three basic styles. Actually, I offer 4 styles. But anyway, he wanted to design his own style with more of a curved blade, more of a curved handle, and there was nothing out there like that at that time. And he wanted it kind of based on a kukri, the Indian kukri shape, more or less, something based on that. So we came up with this design. I worked with him for quite a while before we came up with a design, and this is one of those original pair. He did a seminar, and he asked me to make, I believe it was something like 50 pairs of bacham-do. And this is one from that set. And it took me months to make. And so I had made vast improvements over this at that time. But these still, they still weren't quite the quality that I wanted. And so over the years, I experimented and worked with different woods. This is Purple Heart. I used Jatoba, Purple Heart, Hickory, and today I still use all 3 of these woods, but I generally use hickory for blade wood. It is the most durable, very, very durable and impact resistant for training and for sparring and for contact applications. This is a pair that I just finished. These three actually I just finished for my teacher. I'll be delivering them hopefully this next week. So these are hickory, and these are made even the same design as these, but they're still a little bit different as far as the construction process. These are much sturdier, and they have a good weight to them. But anyway, I wanted to share the history of Raven Studios. This was quite a few years ago, and there weren't any, I would have to say, in Chinese martial arts. There weren't any commercially made wooden training swords for martial artists in the Chinese arts. There were, of course, Japanese bokken and Filipino training swords. I even dabbled a little bit during that time period with plastics. This is a plastic pair in the same design, but I abandoned that for various reasons, which I might share with you at another time. But these are also probably a good 25 years old. So that's the basic history of Raven Studios, and I have more to share with the talking about the other items that I make. But I wanted to share with you the Bacham-do. This was my starting with the Bacham-do, and then it took off from there. So I will be back with more stories.